Welcome in, one and all, to another fresh shave or look at a new release. My name's Regan, aka the Pink Demon, and today we are looking at ADxHD, spelt the hardcore way with like the little X, and there is no funny or clever acronym here. It literally stands for Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder. They've named themselves after the disorder, and this is their debut EP. Attraction Through ADHD. And I really like the band's visual motifs on the album cover and on their logo that's got the 1484 to represent ADHD in the same way that, punks use 1312 to represent ACAB. I think that's quite clever. I like that. Now, this has been brought to me over the weekend by the lovely people at Ironclad PR. And I don't normally focus on the bio. I always read through it, but I don't like to read the bio on the review because it feels kind of lazy. It's my job to tell you about what I think of the band, not just read their own copy. But I want to touch on it, so I am going to read it quickly. It describes ADHD as a brutal death metal band from Poland/Belarus. I'm terrible at geography, I had to look it up. They are neighboring countries. Now you know. It says it's for fans of Hatebreed, Bring Me the Horizon, and Machine Head. They describe themselves as brutal death metal with roots in hardcore punk and shaped by modern death metal. I believe they call themselves deathcore somewhere in here. And there's a lot of words being thrown around and bands being thrown around, mid-tempo riffs, relentless aggression, explosive bursts of speed, groove-laden. And for all these words, I'm like, oh, I wonder what this is going to be. And I put it on, I'm like, this is slam. That's a whole lot of words for me to listen to it and be like, this is just slam. Don't get me wrong. I fucking love slam. Slam is great. But I'm wondering if they've kind of developed as a slam band and are just trying to market themselves out of it, or if it's a case of convergent evolution, if you're not aware of what that is. It's where things have come from different points and evolved to be very similar, so similar that you might mistake them for each other, but they actually have completely different roots. For example, dolphins and sharks is a common case where they've got a lot of similar properties, but one's actually a mammal and one's a fish. So I'm here wondering if, without ever trying to be a slam band, they have taken all these different elements from hardcore, from deathcore, from bands like Hatebreed, Machine Head, Bring Me the Horizon, and mixed them in a way that has come out so close to slam that I couldn't tell the difference between the two. And if so, that's really interesting. Music is so cool in the ways that you can blend it like that and how it comes out on the other end. But all that to say, if I call this a slam album, and I am going to keep calling it a slam EP, sorry, don't get mad at me. Into the 4-track EP, though. This starts insanely strong. It got so much movement out of me when I'm just sitting here at my desk. Within the first 30 seconds of my first listening, I was pumping up, I was kind of getting ready to stand up and throw down a little bit, swinging elbows in my chair, hits these big slamming breakdowns, and I'm like, damn, this music is high danger warning to drywall everywhere. I was so enraptured off the bat with how good this started. And it really doesn't get boring either. For 4 songs, it's clocking in at 12 minutes. In that, you've got 3 songs that are all in the 2 to 3 minute bracket, and then 1 that goes over 4. So really, you've got 3 really short, sharp bursts of just pure movement riff. Stuff that really just hits on a primal level. And then 1 longer song where they've added a few more elements in. There's this kind of, I can't tell if it's a synth or just like a high register guitar, but it's playing over the chugging death metal, and it gives like a real vampiric Castlevania style menace to it, which I'm only putting the pieces here together right now. The song's called Cult of Blood. It's probably about vampires. It's probably very intentional, and I'm just figuring it out live on camera. But I love it. I'm a sucker for that. I'm a sucker for vampires. Like, the whole motif of vampires is awesome. And I couldn't think of a single vampire slam band, so that is untapped market right there. I can't think of anyone that, really adds that kind of gothic, heavy keys. I mean, like, there are symphonic deathcore bands, but I don't think anyone's quite scratched that itch for me in the way Cult of Blood did. As a bit of a negative, though, it does get kind of repetitive by the end. It made me feel that longer song lengths aren't their strong point. I think you could still throw those keys over a shorter track and kind of keep that, I guess, hardcore element, that hardcore heart in it of just making sure songs don't go over 3 minutes. They seem to be really good at writing a sub 3 minute song. So if you want to lean into that strength, I think that's how you do it. And if you want to go for more longer songs, I think you need to put a bit more into it to have them stay interesting and engaging throughout the whole track. Here's the downside of reviewing an EP is it's so little material that you can't get a good gauge on the band. It's just a tester, and the test is good. It's thumbs up from me. But I'm like, I don't know after listening to this if I think ADhD could do a full album. My gut feeling is no. While I had so much fun with this, it's good for 12 minutes. If I had to listen to this for 45 minutes at the current level of just variation in style, song to song, I don't think I'd enjoy it. But that's all hypothetical, and the reality is, I have 12 minutes of this, and it is a great 12 minutes. Like, if you've got time to watch this video and you like extreme metal, you've got to go check out this EP. It is such a pleasant way to spend 12 minutes. You'll want to throw your elbows a little bit, unless you're like a crusty old death metal purist who hasn't listened to anything that came out since like the 90s, who stands at the back of the room with his arms crossed at every show. If you've got the slightest predilection for modern death metal, you're going to enjoy this, and you should absolutely check it out. My most major critique of it is that ADhD are playing in such an oversaturated market that when the EP finished and my Spotify auto-played other bands that are similar in sound, there were times where I didn't catch it until I was 2 or 3 songs into random, basically. So only when it hit a song where, the mix was significantly different, I went, oh, whoops, I'm not listening to ADhD anymore. And then I look at my recently played, I'm like, oh, I haven't been listening to ADhD for like 3 songs. And I thought I was still listening to them. That's kind of awkward. So I guess that's to say that, yeah, it's a very saturated scene. Sonically, ADhD are not a significant standout. They are above average. They are enjoyable, but I couldn't put my hand on the book and say, I think they're unique. And that's probably why I've seen other bands in that space really rely heavily on other things to stand out. There are bands like, what are they called? Distant. And I always see their advertised posts for their new merch, and they put so much effort into merchandising, and to the degree where I, for the longest time, thought they were an alt-fashioned brand, and then one day I looked into it, and I'm like, oh, this is actually a band that just focuses on dropping more shirts than songs. But here I am knowing about them and talking about them because of that. So I guess to play in that space and to get your name out there, you've either got to do something like that, be something unique sonically, or just have something attention-grabbing about you. And I'm going to say the name is very attention-grabbing. As soon as the bloody email hit my inbox, I opened it immediately, because I'm like, what's this band called ADhD? And I bet there's at least one person watching this right now who clicked on the video because they saw me reviewing a band called ADhD and wanted to know what that was about. So, yeah, lean into it. Maybe that'll be the gimmick that gets you the attention you need. And on that genius zinger, I think I'll close off. Like I said, it's just 12 minutes. It's only 4 songs. There's not a lot for me to say about it, but it's really enjoyable. If you like modern extreme metal, check this one out. You've got 12 minutes in your day. I know you do. Do yourself a favor. You're going to enjoy it. It's going to be fun. The style of music, slam, hardcore, deathcore, whatever you want to call it, it really is like the pizza of genres. It only has to be good for it to put a huge smile on your face and be like, oh yeah, I love this. It doesn't have to be the greatest thing you've ever heard. Good enough is good enough. And to sign off, I hope I was good enough for you today. If I was, like, subscribe, and post a comment with the details for your favorite drywall repairsman, because if you listen to this, you're gonna need to know someone who can repair your drywall. Trust me. Until next time, listen to good music, listen to ADhD, It was a quick note as well. It's programming my only video for the week, so apologies for only doing one short one this week. Life's busy right now. Maybe next week it won't be. But until then, peace out.